All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chick from Guna Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. Goodness gracious, I look dog rough. Apologies, we're on fully lockdown settings, but I ain't gonna lie, there ain't no excuse for this and this. I'll sort all that out shortly. Anyway, this ain't blind date. This is a football show, so you man are gonna have to deal with it, and ladies too. But big up yourselves. I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys, if you're in the UK, you've enjoyed the bank holiday Friday, which I know is a bit weird. The only time we do a bank holiday Friday is Good Friday. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Big up to all the veterans. It's Veterans Day over here. I know you Americans and Canadians celebrate in September, but we do it here. We do it now. So big up to all the veterans of all times. It takes a special level of commitment and bravery to join any kind of army, marines, or anything like that. So big up VE Day, baby, UK. Yeah, big up yourselves. Stick a like on this video. I'm going to take you through a few stories this Friday night. And I hope you guys are well. You're enjoying the weather from your gardens, I hope. Blimey, I can't stress this enough. Please stay at home, guys. I know it's a big weekend. I know it's a warm weekend. But the more you guys break the rules, the longer I can't get a haircut. So please, guys, please, just obey the rules. Just sit tight. I know it's a long thing. Just sit tight. We're almost through it. All right, let's take you through a few stories today, and as we go through them. Normally, I start off with my main story. I'm going to hold on to that for a second. Let's start off with a signing that we are supposedly imminently close to announcing. And that is someone called George Lewis. Yeah, crickets. I have no idea who he is either. But he's someone that's come from, I believe it's the Norwegian League. He joined Arsenal earlier this year, had a week trial. Arsenal were that impressed, they extended it by a couple of weeks. And they've been chasing him ever since. The reason that this signing looks more likely than not is this guy's coming free. He's out of contract with his club. My understanding is that he's an extremely raw, very, very raw talent. It kind of reminds me of there was this signing that do you remember this guy? I've forgotten his name, but you guys in the chat room are quite clever. It reminds me of this signing that Venom made. I think it was like 3, 4 years, it was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. It was some 16, 17-year-old kid who I think it was from Asia. And like he hadn't joined a real club or anything, but supposedly was full of like raw talent. And like people were like bigging him up, and we never got to saw an appearance from him or anything. He was just supposed to be this school kid that was supposed to be amazing. No, it's not Bramall. I think it's an Asian signing. I can't remember, but it was definitely an attacking player. I think he played on the left hand side. Was it Asano? Maybe it was Asano. It was Asano, yes. It reminds me of that. I gotta be honest. There is one very scratchy clip of this kid on YouTube. He looks okay. He's got a couple of tricks in him. Looks hella quick. I'll give him that. He looks hella quick. Got loads of tricks on him. But that's really about it. He plays on the right-hand side. He's 19 years old. The belief is that we're signing him essentially to slot right into Steve Bold's under-23 team. And obviously he'll be competing for a place, presumably with Reece, for the first team. So let's see what happens. But yeah, I mean, clearly if Arsenal were that impressed with him after a couple of different trials, he must have a little bit of something about him. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know anything about him, really. But it is what it is. Let's see where we go. George Lewis, apparently, is someone we are imminently going for. All right, let's go with my main story, and that is Thiago Almada, the 19-year-old from Vélez, which is in the Argentinian Premier Division. He's supposed to be some hot shit. The only reason I've heard of this guy, I can't remember. I think I saw a story once before, maybe a couple of months ago, that Arsenal was scouting this guy, but I didn't really think anything of it. It was a very vague story. And also, I heard that he was imminently going to Man City. That doesn't seem to be happening. Man City are still monitoring the situation, but they believe that Arsenal may be the favourites to get him. Atletico Madrid are also after this kid, and he's good. He's a good player. Again, I'm not going to act like I'm an expert on him, but I've at least had longer to look into this guy because we were linked with him earlier in the year. And Almada is 19. He's just turned 19 years old. But very, very small, maybe about 5'5", 5'6". Kind of reminds me of Alexis Sanchez, to be honest, in that he's got a very low center of gravity. He's got good acceleration. He's got really nimble feet, but he likes a pass. And that's why I can see him potentially playing that Ozil role a little bit differently, in the sense that, I think he's very comfortable people kind of drawing onto him spinning them, and then laying down a pass. That's what he seems to be very good at doing. I wouldn't say his goal scoring record is anything particularly amazing, but I could see how he'd fit in a team. And actually, they say that he can play either wing. You can play anywhere in the front three. In a way, it'd be weird to. It's weird to say this for someone so small. It'd almost be a shame if he plays on the wing. And again, this is why I compare him to Alexis, because I always thought with Alexis, we somewhat wasted him playing him on that left-hand side. Playing him as a number 10, I think, would add an extra bit of dynamism to the team. Especially if you said to yourself, all right, cool, I'm going to bring this guy in, I'm going to play him in the middle, I'm going to play Pepe on the right, I'm going to play Saka, say, on the left. And you've got three players just behind a striker that are so dynamic, that can interchange. Oh, I ain't gonna lie, that's the kind of shit that I like. That's a movement I like. He's a very, very, very good talent. Very, very good talent. So for someone like Omar, who likes to wield his opinion on each and every player, trust me when I say this, you may not have heard of him now. I guarantee when we link to him again in a couple of weeks, you'll be like, no, I rate this kid, So to me, I just think he's a different type of player to a Mesut Ozil, but I think I can usually see him playing as a number 10. At the moment, he's valued at 20 million euros. So on the one hand, you might think, do Arsenal have 20 million euros? But if this kid is as good as people think he's going to be, one of these papers compared him to Messi. I'm like, all right, let's be easy. But I can kind of see the Messi thing. I more see the Alexis Sanchez thing. Wait, the good Alexis Sanchez, not the Alexis Sanchez we see now. So I think it might be worth a stab. 20 million euros, 19 years old, plenty of resale value. Could Edu pull this one off? It remains to be seen, but I suspect there may be something in this Almada deal. Just keep it close. Keep it very, very close. He's very, very talented. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I like the kid a lot. I think he's very good. Let's talk about Thomas Partey. So this rumor came from PSGtalk.com. Whenever people are going to question this is where it came from. So it didn't even come from England. It came from there. Supposedly, Thomas Partey has turned down a move to PSG, supposedly for Arsenal. I mean, I'm trying not to get sucked into this Thomas Partey thing. I feel like I'm going to set myself up for a fall. But it seems like, by all intents and purposes, Partey is very committed to this idea of moving to Arsenal. He seems very committed to it. And if it is true, Arsenal, I don't care if you have to break a few piggy banks, go and get it done. Go and get it done, secure Thomas Partey, because this is an elite level player. And I think You're going to add so much to our team. And we're talking about people like Almada and, Carlos just said that he's 5'7". All right, 5'7". We're not talking about huge guys here. I think Pepe is a little under 6 foot. Saka, I think, is about 5'8". So we're talking about small, dynamic players just in front of him. You're going to need some big motherfuckers to protect them. And I think someone like a Partey, all right, he's not huge. I think Partey's 6'1". But listen, I'm 6'1", there or there. I'm a little over 6'1", to be fair, but I'm 6'1". Yeah, 6'1" in short. So I'm all for putting Thomas Partey in there alongside ideally someone else capable defensively. What do you guys think? Let me know. I must admit, until I hear that Arsenal have had a bid accepted and that Partey's in negotiation, I am not going to get excited by this. I can't help but feel like Partey will still turn around and sign a new contract, to be honest. But I do find it interesting that, through all these stories about Partey supposedly is super keen on coming on us. And for those people who don't know, the Telegraph is the one that reported that. The Telegraph, don't get me wrong, generally all papers are bullshit, but the Telegraph is one of the more reputable papers in the UK. And they were so committed on this. They went hard on this. And it's interesting that since they reported this, there's been no further denials. There's been no further rebuttals. So you do think to yourself, is there something to this? I still believe, and I'm still salty about it as well, that, we could have made a bigger play for Ziyech and he went to Chelsea. I hope Arsenal don't do another Ziyech with Partey. But again, what do you guys think? Leave it in the comments below. Let's talk about Jovic real quick. Jovic has been a player constantly linked with Arsenal, probably since January at the very least. Hasn't had a great season at Real Madrid. The season before, he was on loan and absolutely smashed it. And he's a player that a lot of teams like. I like him. I think he's a good player. Still very young, 22 years old. And has been linked to potentially a potential deal involving maybe him for Aubameyang. And it is one that I think a lot of Arsenal fans genuinely wouldn't mind. One sec. You know when you smell gas and you have to turn around? I'm like, hold on, what's going on? Where was I? When I've completely lost my flow. I completely lost my flow. But anyway, yeah, I think for me, there's nothing about Jovic I don't like. Anyway, that's beside the point because he's now picked up an injury. Supposedly, he's got a suspected broken foot. If that's to be the case, it will rule him out for the next 8 weeks at least. So, depending on what's happening with the transfer window, obviously, us and Germany have committed to finishing the season. Don't know what's happening with the Liga yet, but you'd like to think that they will probably follow suit. So if that's the case, I guess we'll see what happens. But Jovic, for the moment, doesn't look like he's going to be involved in any deal as he's recovering from a broken foot. All right, guys, that is pretty much me. Let's do 10, 15 minutes or so of Q&As, actual questions, guys. I ain't trying to sort out domestics in the chat. Throw me some questions. Please do stick a like on this video. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I always bring a show each and every single day to you. I've actually managed to do that this week. Each and every single day I brought a show to you this week. So I hope you guys are enjoying the consistent content. Just to give you an idea of what is happening with me over the next couple of days, in 2.5 hours time exactly, as I say this sentence, I will be on the Combat Show. The link is in the description below. The Combat Show. Me, Ola, and Will be discussing UFC 249. a potential boxing match involving Mike Tyson and Shannon Briggs, which is nuts. John Fury calling out Mike Tyson. What the heck is going on? And then also AJ has fallen out with Carl Frosch. Why is that? We'll be discussing all those things. Make sure you do not miss that. You know how we do. And that is that will be the combat show. Chick Flicks, I will be dropping something this weekend. Truth be told, I don't know when this weekend, but I will be dropping another review this weekend. What I want to try and do and get into a habit of with Chick Flicks is to drop at least a review every single week on average. So just because I'm currently constructing that channel literally from scratch, from what it is now to what I want it to be, doesn't mean I should stop giving you content. So I'm still giving you content while working behind the scenes of that channel, but that will look radically different in the next couple of weeks. So make sure you keep it locked for that. And I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and then on Sunday evening, me, Ola, and Diesel have committed to doing a podcast on this channel. So we'll just be talking all things Arsenal, literally having a good time. You come in here, put your feet up. We'll have a quick discussion, maybe about an hour-long podcast, and we'll just talk all things Arsenal. So we are giving you content, people, content. So make sure you don't miss it. But anyway, let's go into the chat room and see what you lot are saying. Willian rumour isn't stopping. I think it's inevitable. I must admit, I am more worried that we're more likely to complete that signing than we are Thomas Partey. Because you're right. Today I saw a story briefly that he denied all rumours that it was a dead cert he was joining Spurs. So I was like, oh no. Make sure you join Spurs. Listen, I like Willian. I think he's a good player. I don't want him to join Arsenal, though. That's just my view on it. Thank you, Miss Melina. I hope you're well. Like the lady says, please smash down likes. Hopefully you'll listen to her. I see you, Aswa, also saying the same thing. So thank you very much for that. You don't like? Oh, okay. Chris doesn't rate this Almada guy. I love it when people say things like that, because I love looking back at the chat room after they become a success and saying seeing who said what. I feel like that is words that will come back and bite Chris on the arse. Guna Eagle Eye, you should get Martinez. What, from Inter Milan? No chance. No chance. Absolutely no chance. I hope you guys are smashing that like button, guys. The like crew need to get on that. The like crew, my like squad, get on that. Get on top of that if you can. Just got a bit of a dull toothache at the moment. Mr. Roberts from Canada. Greetings from Toronto. Great show. Praying that we can secure party services. What would be your choice of attacking mid replacements? See, it's interesting because I would say Aura, and a lot of people would say, yeah, but Aura is a number 8. Zayat would have been my ideal choice, but he's now gone to Chelsea. So I think for me, I just think anyone that's capable of playing that position, because there's an argument to say that maybe the number 10 spot isn't needed. I won't say necessarily it's a dead position, because I still think you see teams playing that. Arguably, Liverpool would like a number 10. Chelsea was a number 10, or they tried to anyway. City certainly have number 10s. So I don't think it's necessarily a dead position, but I think for us, scoring goals hasn't necessarily been a struggle for us. It's more about a defensive foundation that's solid enough to be able to cope with that. So if we're able to get a defender that can play next to Saliba, if Saliba is your number one defender or whatever it is that you're building him to be, and then you put a defensive midfielder like a Partey in front of him, and then maybe someone capable next to a Thomas Partey, next to him, to do what you want up top. That's kind of my view on it. Arguably, maybe Martinelli could play it. Why not? Chid, your thoughts on Henri's comments for Uber? Yeah, I did see that earlier today. For those people who don't know, Thierry Henry basically said, listen, that he himself won't have anything, he won't hold it, he won't hold take Uber. If Uber left Arsenal, he wouldn't necessarily blame Uber, but that it would leave a massive hole in the Arsenal team. It's pretty much like everyone thinks. I think the same thing. I wouldn't blame Aubameyang for leaving. Where I get frustrated with Aubameyang is you can't, on the one hand, say, "Oh, I'm sick of the speculation," this, and then you're not signing a contract. But well, obviously, speculation is going to continue. Of course, it is. He's absolutely spot on. PSG will sign Icardi this summer. I think so too. I've seen a lot of people come out today and say, "Oh, they wouldn't have Icardi because of his wife." I think that is fucking ridiculous. To me, yeah, his wife is a wild one. Don't get me wrong, but I think people forget Aubameyang was also supposed to be a wild one. I remember so many. Even I was a bit like, "Oh, I don't know about Aubameyang coming to the club." And Aubameyang's been fine. I feel like with Icardi, it almost feels like with him, you just need someone to just settle him down, get his shit in order, calm him down a little bit. Me, I'd take Icardi all day long if Aubameyang is committed to leaving. I'll take him all day long and just get someone to get into him a little bit. Because the talent is there, the goals are there. But it clearly seems like a big project for PSG to be like, no, we don't want anything to do with this. And then for Inter Milan to be like, no, we don't want anything to do with this. It's clearly a big project. So I will say that. But I still have him. I still have him. I'd rather Cardi than Jovic. Yeah, to be honest, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. But yeah, I think people forget that Aubameyang was supposed to be a bad boy. He was supposed to be a bad boy, and then he became fine. Would you keep Lacazette or would you sell him? I think it all depends on the price that we get for Lacazette. Good morning, Mr. Magpie. I see you. I think it all depends. It all depends on the price. I wouldn't be against selling him, but then again, if we kept him, I wouldn't be pulling my hair out either. I don't hate Aubameyang. I don't. I don't necessarily share, say, for example, Mr. Gunner's opinion on Lacazette. He's a complete lack of threat. He has been this season, no doubt about it. But I think anybody can have a bad season. I feel like, from my perspective, if we could get a good enough value for him, then absolutely sell him. But would I be properly vexed if we don't sell him? No, I wouldn't, because I still think he's a decent enough player. But yeah, it all depends. If you tell me we can get 45 million for him, or a Thomas Partey for him, then I'd sell him all day long. Uh, well, yeah, that would be ideal, but we ain't spending the money needed for those three. But yeah, that would be an ideal midfield partnership. Three players that became world class but didn't. Okay, so Joseph, if a player becomes world class, they realize their potential. I was so confused by that question. How can you become world class but not realize your potential? I think this is where people severely underrate or don't quite understand the meaning of world class. If you are world class, you you're beyond realizing your potential. You're there. You are everything people thought you would be and more. So that question kind of doesn't really make sense. We need to use Martinelli. Yeah, absolutely. Would I take Cavani? I did see this question pop up earlier. Um, if you're taking Cavani, you're doing that for like a quick Ibrahimovic type of stint. And if that's the case, so be it, I guess. Oh, is that all we need to do? Would I take Cavani? Okay, you've asked us a few times. All right, okay. Keep Lacquer in it. I told you this. We'll take Vardy off you, Georgie. How about that? 50 million for Partey or 35 million for Apamecano. If it was me, 50 million for Partey. If it was me, I've told you guys this before. Partey for me is if I had to make one signing only this summer, he would be it. He would be it. Icardi is proven. Yep, yep. He's also proven to be a problem. I will say that. Yeah, it's true. Tyrone can't. I have to. I can't deny it. Plus, he's 27. So we're talking about a player that's just entering his prime and is just understanding how crucial he can be for a team. Is Tierney done out here? I don't know if you saw Arteta's comments. Was it yesterday, the day before, where he basically said to Tierney that he's really looking forward to working with him next summer, and that he's been unfortunate due to the injuries that he's had, and that he challenges Tierney to make an impact and make history at Arsenal. And actually, Tierney responded by putting Arteta's entire interview into his Instagram stories. So he's clearly relishing the challenge. So that tells me that maybe Arteta really rates the kid highly. So that's good because I rate the kid highly too. So you do think that if a Lazawa, who I hope doesn't come on board, because I don't think he's any better than Kolasinac, to be honest. But if a Kozawa comes on board, you've got to still think that Tierney's the number one. You'd hope that that's the case. Which of the RB Leipzig players would I take at Arsenal cheap? Oh, I think everyone knows, but let me just double check before I start spitting bars. Hold on. RB Leipzig players. Right? Everyone knows. Who do you guys think is the first player I'd take? Let me throw that back at you. So obviously I'd take Timo Werner. I'd take Upamecano. I would take Sabitzer. Um, I'd take Nyonku, who has gone into that RB Leipzig team and has absolutely killed it. Remember when we were all turning our nose at that signing and Emery wanted him? He was at, I think it was at PSG before that. And he had kind of modest, good to modest stats. Well, he's gone to RB Leipzig and absolutely killed it over there. I'd take Forsberg. Uh, I wouldn't take Klosterman. And would I take Klosterman? I'd probably take Klosterman. Um, yeah, who's the person I've forgotten? Well, I haven't forgotten because I've just seen him. But who's the person I've forgotten? Neymar's that person, Joseph. Lanana would do a good job for us. Oh, I don't know about that. Not for me. What are our chances of getting Tar? I think if we were really about that life, we could get Tar quite easily. You know a story I've forgotten to talk about? Talisio. So Talisio from Bayern Munich has recently done an interview, and he said that he's open to a move to the Premier League. Excuse me. So that obviously includes us. And obviously the price for Talisio is 40 million. Can I see us paying 40 million for him? No. Particularly if we were to get Partey. Arguably, maybe him alongside Partey would be the ideal midfield partnership, because I think Talisio is left-footed. I might be wrong. Partey obviously being right-footed. Both of them are quite defensive-minded, but they like playing box-to-box. It would be interesting, but we ain't paying the money needed for those two players. So, but yeah, Talisio has recently said that he's open to a move to the Premier League. Just realised I knew there was one person I hadn't spoken about. Canute is the person missing. Yeah, trust you to get that. Rich, I thought Rich or Ben would get that. He is left-footed. Talisio is a number 8, exactly. So you have the number 8 next to the number 6 of Partey, and then you have a number 10, say, of Almada, and all of a sudden you have a midfield better that is levels above the midfield we have right now. Levels above. He's very average. All right, so let me ask those people that don't rate it, Talisio, and I've seen a couple of people say that now. Who's better, Talisio or Xhaka? Xhaka's on number 8 right now. So who's better? Let me ask you that. Let me ask you that. Most people are saying, oh, but Talisio doesn't play a lot for Bayern Munich because he's an average player. Cool. Is he better than Granit Xhaka, though? Is he better than Granit Xhaka, though? That's all I want to know. But there you go. So instantly, I don't give a damn if he hasn't played for Bayern Munich lately. What matters is he an improvement on what we have right now? Oh, yes? Then let's get him. Then let's get him. But don't get me wrong, let's get Partey first and then get him if we have money and time. All right, guys. I am going to head up out of here. But please drop a massive, massive like on this video. I'd appreciate if you guys did that. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And yeah, I am up out of here. I'll be back tomorrow for the Eagle Eye Show. For those of you who wondering when the next dose of cheek is, the combat show. Because I saw people asking me in cheek on Lee's gaming channel, because I was just like kind of loosely watching him when I was doing the washing up, right? And I saw people asking, "Oh, Cheek, when is the combat show?" Like I don't always repeat it. The combat show is tonight, just like it is every Friday night at 9:30. Do not miss it. Make sure you catch us. And that's pretty much it for now. So I'm out of here. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Please stay in. Sunbathe from the garden if you need to. All right. Peace.